Badass Records podcast, welcoming you in for another episode. And this week I am thrilled to share with you that Kate Taylor, aka at Matchbox Kansas City on Instagram, is my guest. You can also find Kate at Matchbox KC on Facebook, or you can hit her up via email at matchboxkansascity@gmail.com. She's on Threads too, if you want to give her a peek there. Her artwork is super cool, and please give her a follow. In a perfect world, episodes of this podcast air on Thursdays. You can find episodes where you stream or download. It's viewable on YouTube. Everything lives on the site, which is badassrecordspodcast.com, and you can keep tabs with all the stuff on Instagram as well. Appreciate you stopping by. Hope you enjoy the show. I think this will wind up being episode 183 of Badass Records Podcast. Kate Taylor.
Yes, sir.
Very nice to meet you. Thanks
you.
for being here. At Matchbox KC on Instagram.
Matchbox Kansas City.
Matchbox. I do have that written right. I just said it wrong. At Matchbox Kansas City on Instagram and Threads, but Matchbox KC on Facebook.
Yes.
And then matchboxkansascity@gmail.com if folks want to reach out to you for a commission.
Actually, that one's matchboxkc@gmail.com.
Okay.
Somebody already had that Instagram handle when I set it up. So I was
feverishly writing while watching that little clip from the news that you have linked.
Oh,
and so
you saw that.
I did.
Awesome.
I did.
Yeah.
It was good information. Like those folks seemed nice, but it also was like, I don't know, a little bit like there's an element of a thing like that is hard to overcome, like the goofy fake kind of thing not from you, from them.
Sure.
Yep. You know, the pretend like we're so excited about this kind of thing.
Right.
Whatever. It was great.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and she was really happy that I'd responded. She said, probably much like you reaching out to people, she was just ecstatic, that I had responded and taken the time to do it. Yeah. So
it's when
it was fun
there's
to go.
a person in that chair. It's like,
yeah,
we did it.
Right. We're creating content
together.
So here we are.
I came across you because Morgan Agason, who did episode 166 with me, linked you in a post First Fridays thing, maybe.
Uh-huh.
And saw your stuff, and I was like, wow, this is really cool.
Yeah.
So you mentioned just a moment ago, this comes from hitting up estate sales and auctions?
Well, yeah, we'd go to Andrew Turner Auctions in the East Bottoms, which if you ever have a free Thursday nights, these Thursday nights, I would highly recommend going.
Okay.
You can bring your own drinks, bring food with you, and it's just fun to people watch and just to see how much people will spend on certain things.
Oh, I bet.
It's kind of free entertainment.
Yeah.
But we would buy things from time to time. So I would see all of these old matchbook collections coming through. And it's like, what do you do with them? They collect dust. Nobody knows what to do. You keep them in a container, a basket, people, when they collected them. And so they end up in a box in somebody's basement. So I just thought they should really be where you can see them. And, each matchbook is its own little story and its own little artwork. And so I just started collecting them. And at first I was just kind of making them for myself, but people really loved them. And so I would sort them into different themes and trains and grocery stores and chain restaurants and banks, you name it. Every place used to have a matchbook.
Right.
That was the advertising, then. So I put them together kind of in themes or in color schemes, and people really respond to it. I was really surprised. So I just started doing pop-ups, and here I am.
Very cool.
Yeah.
You brought goodies.
I did. So that's for you. It's just, I call these little match packs, and it has in there like a couple of full matchbooks, I think.
Cool.
I made little sticky notes with them. Those coasters are matchbook covers, real
open
match.
it?
Yes, please do. Our matchbook covers, and I had to actually kind of experiment to find a good sealant to use on those, and I had to do a lot of research. So I settled on it's a fine instrument lacquer.
Oh.
And so it's like UV and heat and liquid resistant. So
Wow.
yeah,
You're really
so-
crafting in your
well,
craft space.
I'm trying. You just got to keep trucking. So,
This is so cool.
but yeah, and so then I made bookmarks, and so there's a little bit of everything in there.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Very cool. Ooh. What else you got over there?
This is there's a lady that came to see me at Art Garden down in the River Market one Sunday, and her name's Greta.
Okay.
I believe Greta, and she is a streetcar driver. So she drives for the streetcar.
Oh, right on. Nice.
Super nice lady, and kind of tall blonde lady if you ever see her. Really neat person. And so I had told her, because I donate part of my proceeds to MS research.
Do you really?
I'm an MS.
Okay.
I'm an MSer.
Okay.
So I was telling her about that, and so she said, "Oh, we have some matches," and I think and her brother has MS, and so she found me again and brought me donated a box of matches to me, and there was this book in there that's it's a catalog from a matchbook salesman. Probably, I would say this is probably from the 60s.
Wow.
50s
Okay.
or 60s. And it has all the covers in it. You can pick your font and your different photos and your picture clearly. And I just thought that was so cool. So I haven't done anything with it, but you should take a look at that. So, imagine being a matchbook salesman, back in that's just a sales job you wouldn't think of.
Right. I'm in sales.
Oh, well, there you go.
So immediately where I go is, how do you cut a margin? Selling matches.
Yeah.
And so margin's important, and growth, keeping your existing and adding new customers. Like, I guess in a different time,
Sure.
everybody had matches.
Yeah. Yep.
Very cool.
Yeah, everyone. And, gosh, mechanics, it's like you name it, and they had a matchbook, and, you pass it on to the next person. Everybody was smoking, clearly.
Yep.
So that matchbook would pass through who knows how many hands.
This is cool. Thank you.
At the end of the day, before all those matches were gone. And so you'd be able to hit a lot of people with your advertisement. But then everybody quit smoking.
Yeah.
And which isn't terrible.
No. Are you a stand-up comedy fan at all?
Yeah.
Okay.
I like my comics.
Are you familiar with Dusty Slay?
I'm not.
Okay. He's how about Nate Bargatze?
Oh yeah, of course.
Okay,
Yeah,
they're like on a podcast together, and I think Nate Land Enterprises has put out both of his specials. He just put a new one out. It's called Wet Heat. He's a Southern dude with long hair and a trucker hat that just barely sits on his head, and glasses. He's always adjusting his glasses and saying, "We're having a good time." He's really clean. He's a clean comic. But has a bit in this new special talking about smoking and, how smoking's bad for you and you shouldn't smoke while you're pregnant. He's like, I'm not so sure that my sister, she smoked all the way through, and it only took her 6 months to have a baby. And then they wanted to keep the baby for a little while, so she got to go home and keep smoking. So it was, everything worked out fine.
Right.
No.
Sounds good.
Yeah, he's just being silly, but highly recommend Dusty. Very cool. Just the notion of everybody smoking. Where I go is Inglourious Bastards. Have you seen this film?
Yeah, years ago. Yeah.
Opening scene, they're on the French dairy farm, and the antagonist shows to look through the house for Jews, and they sit at the table and have a glass of milk, and they each smoke their pipes. With matches.
Sure.
Totally different.
Yeah, it was a different time.
So this has been going on for how long for you?
I started doing it about 3.5 years ago.
Okay. Right around the same time I launched this.
Yeah, right. And so then I finally went legit with the business, because I'd never owned a small business.
Okay.
So then you have to figure all the things out once you realize that, I might be able to make a little money at this. And then you have to get on, the government's radar and all that good
Right.
stuff. So I had to go through all of that. So,
Very
which
nice.
wasn't terrible. So if there's anybody out there that is looking to start a little side hustle or something, it wasn't terrible. I mean, I just figured it all out myself, and you have to
Sure.
get registered and get the things and the license and the numbers and the.
Yep.
So it wasn't as overwhelming as I thought it might be.
Okay. So your primary points of sales, and correct me if I'm wrong, if you're doing an event and you bring all your stuff, or a commission situation, is that?
Kind of both. I mean, I'll do, I'll be down in the river market. I try to do first Fridays. I can't do the heat, so I'm not outside at the summer events here just because of my MS and stuff. But and I do like Mary Market and the River Market, but I do have people that will hit me up and look me up, or DM me and ask me to put things together for them.
Very
and
cool.
I do custom stuff for people. I had a lady actually. Shout out to Shannon. She's bought several pieces from me, and so she's actually had matchbooks from eBay mailed to my house because she put together a gift for someone with different places he had lived, and from Florida to Chicago to different towns, and so she would have eBay send me these matchbooks, and I put together a display. So
nice.
It's, you can really personalize something like this, and it's completely unique. No one will have one like it. So,
Very cool. Thank you again. You also brought a recent issue of The Pitch.
Oh, I did. The good old Pitch.
Of course.
And like we were talking about, that back in the day. I'm happy the Pitch is still around.
I know. I had Brock Wilbur, the editor-in-chief, do an episode with me.
Oh, very cool.
And it was like last 2 years ago, like December. Their Instagram account seemed to be doing a best of, for the year, and it wasn't called that. Nobody was saying that, but they were just featuring so many cool people, photographer, you name it.
Yeah.
It's arts adjacent type folks, and I was just, I mean, even before then, I was like, this Instagram account is so money. Like, it's clean, it's informative, it's always fascinating. And I just was like really grateful that it still exists. And so, and I expressed that, and he was like, you have no idea like how amazing the people are and how tough it is just like sourcing the paper.
Yeah.
And changes in ownership and being in the black versus being in the red. And so I used to seek this out long before the age of the internet. Where do you come across it?
I got that one. Oh, where was it? Might have been Billy. Oh, it was Billy's Grocery.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I think
Shouts
I got
out to Robin, who owns.
I love Billy's Grocery.
Yeah.
So
good. I've never been, but Unbakery. Or no, it's Billy's now. It started as Unbakery over here on 63rd Street, and small little spot, but my spot for smoothies and protein balls, and I want to get to one of the bigger stores and check it out.
It is. It's delicious. It's delicious. So it's a lot of fun.
Did you thumb through this at all?
I mean, just a little bit.
Just a little bit?
Things have been so crazy with my daughter going back to school. Then my car broke down, had to buy a new car.
Oh, no.
Just all like the life things kind of happened at once at the end of the summer here. So, but yeah, I actually,
Thank you.
You're welcome. One of my, my first really long-term, when I say long-term, it was maybe 5 years, relationship I met through a Pitch Singles ad back. Now I'm about to turn 50 next week.
Okay.
So this was, I guess I was 24, 23, 24. And anyway, it was when you would place your singles ad in the Pitch, and you would physically write a letter in, and so, yep, those were different times.
They were.
Yep.
So did that relationship last, or?
No. I mean, it was about 4 or 5 years, and that's actually I picked that Macy Gray, the Macy Gray album. That was that album reflects that time and that breakup, so that was kind of stems from that. But no, I've been with my husband. We've been together 20 years now.
Okay,
So,
but that one lasted 4 or 5 years.
4 or 5 years.
That's
yeah.
not nothing.
No, it's
I meant like did beyond a second date or a
oh sure, yeah,
whatever.
It was definitely a long term, but when I look at the pitch, that's what I think of.
That's wild.
Yeah, yep.
Well, thank you again for being here and for bringing all this fun stuff. I'm looking forward to flipping through that and seeing what else is in the bag.
Yeah.
Let's see here. You are born and raised in the area?
Yes. So I was born in the Ozarks, and
Oh, wow.
then I grew up in a little town, Horton, Kansas, up in northeast Kansas.
Okay.
And then we moved to Lawrence when I was 10. So I grew
wow.
up. So my growing up years were in Lawrence, and I went to high school in Lawrence.
Really?
And so I was around. I graduated in '93. So of course that was.
Where is it? Right there.
What?
93. My.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
so you're my age then.
I mean, I'm
pretty
50.
much.
Well, I'll be 51 this
Oh,
year.
well, congratulations.
Thanks,
Okay,
yeah.
so you're already there.
So weird how it's like, in your late 30s, you're like, God, I'm going to be 40.
Yeah.
And then through 44,
Boom.
45, you're like, 50's still.
Yeah.
And then it's here, and then it's gone. It's like 51. Just, okay,
Yeah.
keep doing it.
Just keep on trucking, in the words of R. Crumb,
Susanna Johannes, or Susie Johannes, episode 182.
Uh-huh.
She was just here Tuesday, so hers is not out yet. Also, the Lions, right?
Yeah,
Lawrence,
Chesty Lions.
Yeah, she
Yes.
lives, no. Does she still live? She might still live in Lawrence, but definitely went to high school there.
Right.
She's a little bit younger than we are, but not by much.
Okay.
Anyway,
Yeah.
fun town to grow up in?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, too fun.
Yeah.
I never finished college, so I was immersed in that college life at a young age.
Yep.
So it was great fun.
I was sharing with her. I mean, like, I would literally get the pitch to see who's playing where, and it seldom did anything locally appeal to me show-wise. It was all there.
Sure.
So, I mean, as soon as I'm driving, I'm there a lot, junior and senior year, and then I was like, I should probably not go to school here because I was partying plenty already in high school,
right.
so I didn't go to KU.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Yeah.
fun town to grow up in, and then you
Yeah.
went to KU but didn't finish.
I didn't go to KU. I went to Washburn for a minute.
Okay,
So I never made
Topeka.
it to.
Nice.
I didn't make it to KU.
Okay.
But so you're from here then, from Kansas City.
I bounced around a lot, but yeah.
Okay.
My mom was a Miege gal, and my dad was a Rockers guy, and that's
gotcha.
how they met. I was actually born in South Carolina, but this is always where I return.
Oh, sure.
It turns out. So South Carolina here, Georgia here, Colorado here.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I went to East.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. So then you were then you participated or went to Lawrence for that music scene in the 90s and
Yep.
Yep. All the bands came through there, and it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun growing up in Lawrence.
I bet.
And I saw Green Day at Liberty Hall.
Nice.
I mean, like within,
Yeah.
touching to, and you just think like, and it's funny when you invited me to do this, I was like, I'm a mom. I work a full-time job at a bank. How much do I want to expose about myself?
It's tough. I mean, like, the thing is, and plenty of folks I know and have known for a very long time, either no, I don't want to do that, or
Sure.
say yes, and then the date nears and they're like, no.
Oh, sure.
And it's like, from my perspective, it's like, come on, it'll be fun.
Yeah.
And I get it. You don't want to be on the internet. And even though the audience is microscopic, it's teeny tiny. It really is, in terms of views and subscriptions and all that stuff. But it's still there. Like, if somebody, whatever, had a run-in with you in the grocery store parking lot, and then they could go and snip out a little thing and look at this lady. She's a
Sure.
whatever. I mean,
Sure.
I don't not get it.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
how much do I want to expose? You were saying
exactly. So, but it I guess it's sort of a little time capsule if my daughter wants to look at it later.
Right.
Yeah. And, once she's an adult, she'll find those things more interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember I had an older sister. I have an older sister that's 3 years older. So she would take take me out places. And I
Cool.
remember going to the outhouse when I was
Oh
14.
wow, yeah. I still have never been.
First time I ever drank was at the outhouse.
Sure.
You know.
Yeah.
Um,
BYOB.
exactly. And so we would see bands out there occasionally. But growing up in Lawrence was a lot of fun with that
Yeah.
with that music scene.
I had a couple versions of a fake ID,
Right?
which like I mustered up. I found a spot that was whatever that I could just pretty much go to every weekend to buy a beer. But it's like that first time I rolled into Lawrence and like park and get out, and it's like, oh, I've not like attempted the bar thing before, and they're like,
Sure.
okay, it's like so clearly I'm not 20.
Right.
But anyway, Bottleneck, Granada.
Yep.
There's a bunch of them.
Yeah.
And it wasn't. I don't suppose I was dialed in enough. I was kind of trying to claw my way out of FM radio, classic rock land at that point. So I wasn't necessarily dialed in for the big acts that are coming through because Lawrence is a
Sure.
good place to play. I was into the local stuff. Like the
Right.
Salty Iguanas were my favorite band.
Oh, sure.
And Lonesome Hound Dogs. And I went to, we went to, the first one was the Green Eggs and Ham Jam.
Right.
Pete Fish Farms out on Clinton Lake.
Okay.
And then that became Omega,
Uh-huh.
which we went, and then that became Wakarusa,
Yep.
which I also went to a bunch, and then it moved away to
Uh-huh.
Arkansas or whatever.
I don't know if there's even what festivals do they have out there? I mean, I'm out of touch. I mean, I only visit there once.
Yeah.
Once
Same.
a year or something.
I've
but-
only been to Lawrence. I did go up there for a show not too terribly long ago that, somebody I know was playing, but beyond that, I've only been there once a year for the last 3 years to take my boy to Bill Self basketball camp.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
I'm out of touch too.
yeah.
Okay, one older sister. Any idea how your folks connected initially?
Oh, my parents?
Yeah.
Oh, sure. So this is an interesting story. So my dad was born in 1924.
Okay.
So clearly an older parent.
They weren't doing that back then, having babies that old.
No.
Okay.
So he met my mom. He was married when he met my mom. And so they worked
okay.
together she was 18 years his junior. And so they worked at a dry goods store down on Main Street together. And he was in sales. He did medical supply sales for years. And so he had been married, no kids, to a lady for like 20 some years. And then he met my mom. And so then my mom got pregnant with my sister. In that order, he left his wife. And then they got married, and I was born, a couple years later. And then they had a great relationship, and so my mom passed when I was 24.
Oh, dang.
Yeah,
Okay.
She had cancer. Of
Oh,
course,
wow.
that cancer, that cancer's everywhere.
Yeah.
So nobody it doesn't touch in some way. And then my dad just, and it was interesting growing up because we always thought, well, when your dad passes away, because he was 51 when I was born.
Yeah.
So imagine you having a newborn. So that was, and no, he outlived my mom by many years. And he just passed away during COVID in like 2021.
Okay.
But he was 96.
Dang.
And, yeah.
What a run.
So, yeah, he did have a run. Yep.
I mean, literally starting over
yeah.
at 50,
At
51.
51,
I mean,
and yeah,
then
50.
just a whole other
Other
chapter.
life. Yeah.
crazy.
So it's just, you never know.
Yeah.
Just never know. So.
Did they put on music to listen to in the home when you guys were little?
Sure. I mean, we had the record player. We didn't have TV. My mom was anti-TV, for many years. So she'd roll out the TV on Saturday mornings and we could watch cartoons when I was little, But,
Favorites from Cartoon Land?
Oh gosh, Smurfs.
Yep.
Always my favorite. And She-Ra.
Yep.
All the classics.
I was a huge Super Friends guy and Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, okay.
It was like I never played the game, not once in my life, but there was an
Right.
awesome cartoon. It was this little group of kids, and they all had a power, and they had a goat.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Who doesn't want power in a goat? I mean, I certainly do.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Isn't that the goal in life?
Anti-TV. Okay,
Yeah. So we would listen to music, and and of course, my dad being from, he was a World War II veteran. So he, when he grew up, this was the 40s, and the McGuire sisters, and the, all of the big bands, and
Sure.
So we would listen to that, and And then my mom would listen to, Joan Baez, Janis
Wow.
Joplin, clearly,
Yeah.
her baby boomer 60s
Yeah.
music,
Yeah.
And then, of course, the 80s. And my older sister had a boom box. And so we would record Casey Kasem, on Saturday mornings. And so I started listening to her music. She was an Aha fan.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
so I would, and Sting, she loved Sting and the Police.
Sure.
And so that was, having that older sibling, you're
Yeah.
kind of exposed to, the new music when you're a kid through that older sibling.
Yeah.
And so,
I gotta grab a record real quick.
sure.
Just I bought it because, well, I'll tell you in a sec.
Okay, now he's gone. I can tell you all of my secrets.
One of my sister and I's go-tos.
Oh, yes, Hot Tracks.
Yes.
Oh, I love it.
Check out the back.
Rick Springfield. I saw Rick Springfield at Starlight a couple of years ago. He looks great.
Does he really?
Oh, he looks great.
Wow.
Yes. Oh, Def Leppard, of course. Eurythmics. I bet you played the crap out of
Oh my
this.
God. Like nonstop. Even the weird, like I didn't, Krista Berg, Don't Pay the Ferryman. Like I don't know who this guy is or what, but no skips.
Wow. Oh, Mr. Roboto.
Uh-huh.
That's great.
And it was like, that was my introduction to Styx.
Uh-huh.
And so however many years later, when I hear other tracks by them, I'm like, what is the deal? Like, I thought everything was going to sound like Mr. Roboto, but
Sure.
that was the one-off. That was the pivot
Yeah.
for them.
But isn't that interesting now when you hear like a full album that maybe you only heard one or two tracks from as a kid growing up, and then you hear the whole album now, and it's a whole different experience, Yeah, definitely.
So mom and dad are listening to stuff. You've got big sister's influence pouring in.
Like 3 generations, literally,
Wow.
know.
Early or first concert memory?
Well, that time I went to the outhouse.
Oh, yeah.
14. It was All Playing, who of course is the Descendants guys. So and at the time I had no. I'm like, okay, all Descendants. Now I'm like, oh my God, like and I don't know his name, of course, because I'm not a huge punk rock fan. But
Right.
now I'm like, oh my gosh, I like, I saw some really notable people,
Sure.
But I mean, just the concerts in Lawrence and
Yeah.
Mighty Boss Stones.
Oh, wow.
I loved ska for a while.
Yeah.
And, my life with the Thrill Kill Cult. And I was friends with Jackie Becker, who does Pipeline Productions in
Oh.
Lawrence and she's worked with the Bottleneck for many years. I
Okay.
haven't talked to her forever, but so I would do security for shows or help out or sell
Nice.
merchandise or whatever
Yeah.
at the Granada. And so, there was just a lot of really fun times.
Cool.
A lot of fun times.
I went
So-
I wind up repeating myself a lot on here because I only have so many experiences.
Right.
But
Do tell.
a few years ago, I went to see one of my favorite contemporary artists, a guy named Kurt Weill. He's from Pennsylvania and founded the War on Drugs with Adam Grandiseel. And then after album 1, they kind of just have been doing. Anyway, I went to Liberty Hall to see him.
Sure.
And had balcony seats. That was built when humans were smaller because it is
God.
literally everybody I was with put their legs over the back of the chair in front of them.
Wow.
It's so small, but
Yeah.
I mean a great venue.
Yeah.
Like one of many great venues up there.
Sure. I haven't been there for years, but I imagine.
Yeah.
Where did I go recently? Was it the music hall? Someplace the seats were Folly Theater. I
Okay.
think my daughter had a performance there once, and I think those seats are super small too.
Huh.
But yeah, people were smaller
Yeah,
at one time.
well,
That
and
is
then we
true.
all started consuming garbage.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did. Yes.
So here's the stuff mom and dad are listening to, and the stuff that older sister's listening to. An album that stands out as sort of your first discovery on your own outside
Yeah.
of those influences, or your first purchase, or?
So the one that stands out, which I did not put on my list, was the REM Green album.
Oh,
and
wow.
I got that for my 13th birthday, the cassette. And I remember we were on a vacation in Colorado, and I remember sitting in the hotel room and unwrapping that tape, and I just have that vivid memory of the Green album. And that was kind of the pivotal moment where I started, finding my own way through music.
Yeah.
So it started with REM, and
What's on that? There's a big hit on that.
it's the End of the World.
Orange Crush.
Crush.
Yes,
Yeah.
End of the World as we know it, and
but
I
an
feel
Orange
fine.
Crush, of course, is about the napalm and the Vietnam War.
They dropped out of college in Georgia, Athens maybe,
Athens,
and like
Georgia.
were touring out of a van and had a $2 a day per diem for food,
Really?
and obviously lived.
Yeah, yeah, right.
Crazy
and flourished.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
You really, just right into the heart of some of what this is for me is like that unwrapping and having the album artwork and liner notes and lyrics and a unique smell of that,
Yep, I'd pop it in my little Walkman, and I'd listen to that. And then Enya, it's so funny looking back because I'm in like 7th grade, right? And I would listen to that Enya Watermark album,
Orinoco Flow.
Yes. Over and over. And looking back now, I'm like, what kind of corny ass kid? But
I love it.
It was good music, and it calmed my senses, I guess.
My mom for a good little while worked for Tracy Lywicki. The Lywicki brothers. They like brought the Comets to town, and one of them was like Minnesota Timberwolves. I think one of them is still whatever AEG that runs the Sprint Center.
Oh, sure.
Anyway, they had a project where they were doing this new design for the zoo, and they had to put together a video presentation, and they used Orinoco Flow for part of it. I was
That's
like,
great.
what is this music? This is so cool. And I still think it's cool. I am a nerd. I don't care.
Sure. Yeah. It just seemed more like, adult contemporary music,
Yeah.
And, but it's great. I should break that out again. I really should.
There's a lot of good tracks on that one, and
Yeah.
some of her other records have good tracks on them too.
Yeah.
And then Enigma, right?
Sure.
There's one record that has like I know you would recognize the track
Sure.
off of it. And it's like these sisters are talented.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Say whatever you will about how synthy or technologically driven it is. It's still there's artistry in there.
Yeah. It's relaxing to say the least.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So speaking of artistry, this thing that you do, and this time you hit me with the handles so that I don't fudge them.
Okay.
Tell me again what all the places where folks can find you.
Oh, sure. So Instagram is at Matchbox Kansas City.
Okay.
All spelled out.
Yep.
Facebook is at Matchbox KC.
Okay.
And then my email is matchboxkc@gmail.com.
Okay.
Yep.
So the artistry piece of doing this, was there a light bulb moment, in not necessarily for this project specifically,
Sure.
but that goes, hey, I have like a knack, some talent, some ability to be
Yeah.
creative. Where did that?
Yeah. Well, and with this, I kind of draw the line. I don't call myself an artist, because I'm more of a crafter, because I do, I'm
Arts
not
and
creating
crafts.
arts and crafts, it's a fine line.
Yeah, your sister is just as much a sibling as you are. I mean,
there
anyway.
you go, synonymous. So, but yeah, I just, I like being able to place them, and people have said, they're like, oh, you have a real eye for this. And, so I guess there is some, modicum of talent to, placing them and making it look visually appealing.
I'm glad you said that.
sure.
And that was the one thing that I was not a huge fan of in that little news clip. I was like, don't let them do it. You do it. You're the one with the... Anyway.
But I did go on. They said if you can do a demo. So I thought, oh well, it'd be fun for them to, pick them out
I
and
know.
stick them on there.
Anyway.
So, but yeah, I mean, clearly mine look a little bit better, but
You're the pro.
I am the pro.
You're the
but
craftswoman.
they did good. They were very gracious, and but that was a lot of fun, and so I've been on TV once before.
Okay.
So this is a funny story. I told my husband I'll have to tell you this story. So there was a show a few years ago called Check Please on PBS.
Okay.
A local show, and it was like a restaurant review show.
Oh wow, yeah, nice.
And you've probably seen it in passing on PBS. So
I'm struggling to
yeah
get mentally past what the future of PBS will look like.
Oh,
Sorry.
God, no, that's okay.
And all
that
the
was,
other things.
Yeah.
But
well, yeah. Well, God bless PBS. Hopefully they can hang in there. So,
it's the birthplace of Sesame Street.
Yeah, I mean, PBS is a part of the fabric of our lives.
Yeah.
Clearly,
But Check Please.
So it was called Check Please, and so the premise was 3 people would go on and you would review your favorite restaurant. And so at the time we had some friends. I lived in Florida for a couple of years, and that's where I met my husband. And so we had this friend, and he had lots of money, and so he would take us out to these great restaurants and foot the bill. And so
Good friend to have.
we would party and stuff. And so he came to visit us. He and his girlfriend came to visit us once here, and we went to Blue Stem down in Westport. I don't know if they're still there or not. Are they?
They are not.
Okay.
They called it after 10 years. And just are focusing on rye.
So it's rye. That's right.
Colby is from my class.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
they were just they just posted like on stage pictures with Melissa Etheridge.
Oh wow.
Who was just here at Starlight with Indigo Girls.
Oh, Indigo Girls.
Yeah.
Love
anyway,
them.
You're a Blue Stem.
So, well, then people that are not familiar with Blue Stem. I mean, it's James Beard Award.
Oh my God.
I mean, it's million-star restaurant. It's
Yeah.
delicious. So he took us to this restaurant, and so we had this fabulous meal and the wine pairing and the whole thing, and so. I knew this show Check Please was on. So I don't know what got in my head. I was like, I'm going to apply to this show and say that Blue Stem is my favorite restaurant. So I went on this show, and so the other people have to eat. We all have to eat at each person's choice of restaurant. And so the other 2 people had picked Stroud's and some like kebab place, like KC Kebab and Grill. So we go on the show, and so they're talking about the different dishes, and we review this, and the other 2 people, because you'd get like a stipend, like a $40 stipend, to eat at the other restaurants. And so the other 2 people were like, yeah, we just went and had brunch, because it's a little pricey to eat dinner there. And so it comes to reviewing Stroud's, and this guy's talking about it. And so then they ask me how I like Stroud's, and I was like, well, we had the chicken and the green beans, but, I don't know how many different ways can you cook green beans, really. And I sounded like a total douchebag.
Oh, no.
So we laugh about that to this day. Point. Yeah. So,
I mean, salt, pepper, butter, bacon.
Right. But I'm like, how many
fried onion, casserole.
And Stroud's is great,
Sure.
But I just remember going on there. So I guess that's what I'm talking about, like putting myself out there publicly, and now I'm like, oh, I sounded like a real tool. And I'm like, I don't know. I've had green beans before.
Well, that was, there was a time where, I remember a number of meals in my married dating life where you walk out and just go, wow. And, the 20 years that I did, half of it's cooking and prepping and dishwashing. The other half is chefing.
Yeah.
And so, but it was just a job for me. I was never like, I'm going to open my own place. And it's like,
Sure.
how do I get out of doing this?
Yeah.
But they'll take you real young and throw you in the dish pit. And you just,
Sure.
Anyway.
Yeah.
There was around that time, culinary talents and skills and amazing places to eat were like this huge trajectory with very little recording. There's no social media. There's not cameras on they're not cell phones.
Yeah.
And so, so Bluestem was definitely one. Paropo's, the original location,
Uh-huh.
was one. And then there was a place called 40 Sardines,
Uh-huh.
which was Michael Smith
Oh, sure.
and Debbie Gold in a previous version of their lives.
Yeah.
They came from Chicago. And just, anyway, the point is, like, there's an indescribable thing about eating that kind of food before it was like
Yeah, before everybody was Instagramming their meals.
yeah, and so you are
You
literally
discover it.
your palate
Uh-huh.
is at that point way above what folks are just doing in their daily lives. So it makes sense.
Sure. I mean, I
Like,
was just excited about it
yeah.
because, I didn't grow up eating like that.
Exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, and it ties back into the matchbooks too. You mentioned Michael Smith. Like I have the Michael, and who else was it? Forbes?
Oh, yeah.
Michael Forbes
Yeah.
restaurants
Yeah.
too.
Yep. Forbes Cross.
Yes. So just all of those old restaurants. I wish I had a Blue Stem matchbook.
That would be
I have
awesome.
a Paropo's. I have
Nice.
Paropo's matches. Yeah.
Very
yeah.
nice.
So, gosh, and Pooch's and just all those old Kansas City restaurants.
Yeah.
People love that. So it has been interesting how this has also tied into that culinary
Yeah.
scene in
Yeah.
Kansas City.
Well, I mean, if nothing else, you need a book of matches to light your pilot light on your
Yeah.
equipment.
Yeah.
And also,
sure.
lots of your guests are not only smokers, but they're
Right.
smoking inside.
Right. I mean, we'd sit there and have our cheesecake and a
Yeah,
cigarette for
yeah,
dessert.
yeah.
You can't even imagine that now.
No, I was
Jeez.
like, so, coming from the business when that ordinance when it finally made its way to KC proper, I was like, this is bullshit, man. You can't tell a business owner how to, and then like just a year after that, it was like, this is way better.
Right. This is
To
better,
not
actually.
just be in it, and also your clothes, but that's how we
Yeah.
did things.
Did you smoke?
Yeah.
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 Like I.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was.
I was a long time. I mean, I quit when I got pregnant with my daughter, or I would still be smoking.
Yeah.
I'm sure. Yeah.
When my folks were together for a short little while, and I mean, just in the ceiling above his seat on the couch in the den was like yellow because his
Sure.
ashtray was right there, and he would. But I would, I get to first grade and learning all about that kind of stuff in the 80s, and so I was like sticking notes in his robe pocket.
Oh
and
my God.
I want you to quit.
I can't believe you did not just say that.
Yeah.
I did that exact same thing, and I was just telling my daughter about that the other day. I would roll up little pieces of paper like cigarettes and with like skull and crossbones and like this is killing you stuff and put it in my mom's pack of cigarettes.
Yeah.
And so she would pull it out and get this little note with the death mask staring at her. That's
I was
crazy.
I wasn't doing skull and crossbones, but I would just
Sure.
write a little
You'd
something.
write a note.
Stick it in the pack.
Yes.
Tape
Was
it
that
to
like
the
a PSA? Did we see that on PBS or something? Like, here's what you need to tell your smoking parents.
Yeah. So
That's crazy.
and then like my mom smoked when they were young and then didn't, and then late 80s Carl Peterson comes to town and gets the Chiefs relevant because they weren't for a good little bit.
Sure.
A lot of folks today wouldn't know that, but Vicks little red heart cough drops. She would, during Chiefs games, she would suck on cough drops and smoke cigarettes.
Really?
And I was just like, I was older by that point, and very, very just around the corner from like going to my first party and being like, oh, you got to drink beer and smoke cigarettes if you want to be cool. Like,
right.
Right. I wish I could pluck that out of there.
Yeah.
But going from, I don't want to do this and sticking notes, and this is weird that it's a thing that helps calm your nerves when you're anxious, to then now,
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. And it's like just the ritual of it too. It's, I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed smoking.
Yep.
I did. And, but it's just a different world. And, the young people, when they see these matches, like I'll put together like the airline matches. I mean, listen, Blair, it blows their mind to imagine that we used to smoke on airplanes.
I mean,
like they can't get past it.
I don't think all of the planes with armchair ashtrays are fully out of circulation
I
yet.
mean, surely they have to be.
Well,
Are they?
I mean,
Maybe not.
I feel like I
Yeah.
saw one. I was on a plane with one not that long ago, like a
Yeah.
handful of years.
Yeah,
and like,
yeah, that's
man,
probably true. Yeah,
this thing out of here.
yeah. But I mean, imagine that now.
And you know, in the sales, so I sell to restaurants
Oh,
and
okay.
and schools and hotels and whatever. You get outside of KC proper, they're still doing it. Like,
Right.
there's a joint in Odessa.
Uh-huh.
You know, it's like smoking or non when you walk in, and you're like, what?
Yeah.
And it's just over here. You know, it's not like there's
Right.
an air seal. It's just it's
Just
spilling
still
in a
right
little
there.
bit.
Yeah. So are those city ordinances?
Yeah.
I guess.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
You know, you go south a good little ways down 71 and get into some of those smaller towns, and you walk it's jarring.
Yeah.
Not even somebody smoking in there.
Yeah.
You just open immediately, like, damn, people smoking here.
Yeah.
Like, it's their job.
Yeah,
Anyway.
exactly. Yeah, the closest experience has been when, I might go to the casino once a year, just to, throw something in the slot machine. And it's just like,
Yeah.
it's still, I mean, with the ventilation even,
I
it's
know.
just still kind of thick in there.
We
but-
went to an annual work awards banquet, gala, whatever. I was married, but I don't know. Yeah, we probably had both kids already, but just getting there and being like, they choose the location of those things based on whether or not they're a customer. You don't want to ever
sure.
go like support a place that buys from the competition.
Right.
But you have that, like, this, okay, we're going up north and we're going to a casino. Like, that's okay, whatever. And then you open the door to go in, and it's like you walk past all the folks that are just smoking to get to the thing. And it's
Yeah.
just a depressing stretch.
Yeah.
Like,
right.
they don't look like they're doing amazing
No.
if they're out there.
No, they don't.
In life, and I'm not trying to be...
Yeah.
I get it, but...
It is what it
Yep,
is.
yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's so funny that you would do the notes with your folks.
Right. Yeah. And then when my mom came down, she had pancreatic cancer, but I
Damn.
mean, and she smoked all those years, and
Sure.
she had quit a couple of times, but so she ended up with pancreatic cancer, but she was smoking Winston's at the time. And my mom was quite a character. And so she actually wrote a letter to Philip Morris saying, "Hey, I have cancer. I don't blame you for my cancer. I just want to say that I don't think you had anything to do with my cancer. Can you send me some free cigarettes?"
That is awesome. Did they answer?
No.
Oh, wow.
No. But she wanted to give them the out for
Yeah.
her cancer to see if she could get some free
Yeah.
cigarettes, so it was worth a shot.
Hook me up and I won't sue.
Yeah, I won't sue you. Exactly.
We would go to 7-Eleven on Metcalf and get $2 worth of quarters and go across the street to King Louis bowling alley
Also have King Louis matches.
Nice.
Yeah.
and feed their cigarette machine, and that's
Yeah.
how we would get smokes
Yeah.
underage, because there was not
Right.
nobody. That's just a thing that you walk past.
Yeah, looking back, that is so true.
But I
mean,
had-
those machines were everywhere,
Yeah.
and nobody was looking at
Yeah.
you.
It's the funniest. As a kid, my dad was a bartender for many years. Pulling on those handles and like identifying like who's got the coolest label in the cigarette machine, and
Right.
they're always locked
chunk, yeah.
until the one day you put money in, and it
Yep.
comes out, and you're like, oh, that's really satisfying.
Yeah.
But I was like Camel Cash hoarder.
Oh, were you?
Like I would, because it was either Camel Light or Marlboro Light.
Yes.
And so I would get Camel dollars from everybody. I got flip flops. I still have the ashtray in my
wow.
garage. Flip flops, a beach towel, an ashtray, a real nice oak dartboard.
Oh.
It
Wow.
was super slick. And my sister,
Yeah.
who did go to KU, took it to Lawrence, and it didn't survive. But I had so much stuff.
Yeah.
Eventually,
You were working it then.
yeah. I had a Winston phase at one point, which was solely because that was what Frank Zappa always
Right.
always smoked. Never did drugs. I grew up. My mom's like, he's weird. Like whatever. But it turns out he's a genius. Actually, is
Yeah.
why somebody would say that or think that.
Sure.
And he was like really just ahead of his time in a lot of different ways. In fact, one of his biographies closes with like, here are some things that are gonna happen like real soon in this country, and one of them was like, there's gonna be this disease that attacks your immune system and
Really?
wipes out. Yeah, and like a
Frank
couple.
Zappa,
Yeah.
huh? I'm
So-
gonna have to do some Googling on
Okay,
that.
so there are rabbit holes and they are deep.
Wow.
PMRC.
Uh-huh.
Do you remember this organization?
Uh-uh.
This is Tipper Gore,
Oh, sure. Tipper Gore.
and they
Oh, yeah. Yeah. What was
explicit
it?
lyric content
Yeah,
label
What was, yeah.
on the records.
Uh-huh.
And Dee Snider from Twisted Sister,
Sure.
John Denver, and Frank Zappa went to Congress to and sat in, and we're like, this is bullshit.
Wow.
John
John
Denver-
Denver. Wouldn't see that coming.
John
but-
Denver and Dee Snider
Okay.
have little like nice, heartfelt, intelligent sounding speeches. Frank has a briefcase.
Wow.
And he, like, I mean, it's on YouTube. Like, it's 40 minutes. And, occasionally it'll pan to, like, the Congress
Interesting.
people, and they're like, get this fucking guy
Right.
out. Like,
Yeah.
anyway, there's also a lot of clips, interview clips, talk show clips, late in life with him, always smoking. In one of them, he's clearly sick, and he died of prostate cancer.
Okay.
And maybe it's Barbara Walters. I don't know who it is, but she's like, what are you doing? Like, just
Yeah.
burning smokes like it's your job. You're dying of cancer. And he's like, I consider cigarettes a food group, and they're one of my favorite food groups, to be
Sure.
honest with you.
Yeah. Right.
Okay, Frank.
Yeah.
But yeah, Winston's.
Huh. Yeah, I went through the Winstons too.
Yeah.
Yep.
I've got, in my bathroom upstairs, I've got the album, maybe it's the back of the record, one of his records, where it's up close. He's got a big, thick head of hair
Sure.
and a mustache. He's in a terry cloth robe. Just
Oh,
sitting
very
there with a
cool.
Winston. It's a great,
Yeah. Huh. I will. I'll have to do some looking at that.
He
That's interesting.
was so fascinating in terms of standing up for and a lot of his content, a lot of his music is about real life stuff.
Sure.
Like Joe's Garage is one of my favorite records of all time. It's a 3-act big story about garage band, get discovered, signed to a label, and it ruins their lives.
Sure.
Just in the way that, I mean, that was a thing. Like, labels would send dudes on planes to towns and go out at night to shows and find somebody, and maybe we'll sign them and give them a bunch of money to go make this record, and
Yeah.
then we'll keep everything else.
Yeah, and we'll keep it all. Yep.
But yeah, he's a really, really fascinating dude.
Yeah, I just remember one of my, if you say Frank Zappa, I just remembered that he was one of the first celebrities that named his kids, oddball names. Everybody's like, why would he name your kids that?
Moon Unit,
Uh-huh.
Ahmet,
Right.
Diva, and the boy Dweezil.
Uh-huh. Dweezil.
Dweezil.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. And everybody's like, well, this guy's a nutcase.
Yeah. So I've got framed on the door there is Hot
Oh,
Rats,
look at that.
which is one of he's got a lot of amazing records. But then this right here, somebody made for me. That's a drawing or a painting of the 83, 84 record called Ship Arriving Too Late to Save a Drowning Witch.
Oh.
Which, if you look at the image, this little white with the black,
Sure, yeah.
that's exactly what's happening there. Ship arriving too late
late.
to save a drowning witch.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I see it clearly. Clearly that's what it is.
That
That's hilarious.
album has Valley Girl on it,
Uh-huh.
which is literally where "Oh my God" and Valley Girl Speak was born.
Sure.
Because he was like parroting what he would hear in L.A. and
Right.
Anyway, very fascinating dude.
Huh.
Could talk to you about Frank Zappa for a long time, but I
Yeah.
won't.
Well, I'm going to take a picture of that
Okay.
before I go.
Okay.
That's great.
So I don't know if I let you get all the way through to the light bulb of your craftswomanship being
Oh.
born and being on the television show.
Yeah.
We kind of went down a tangent there.
Sure. Well, I mean, I just really like it, and it's, everybody has to have something creative, and I've done all kinds of craft stuff, and but this one really stuck, and I figure if I'm collecting matchbooks, then I could justify it, by selling them.
Yeah.
So, but and so if you collect matchbooks, you're a voluminist, and I didn't know that term.
Wow.
Until I started doing this. So it's PH voluminist.
Yes.
And it comes from the Latin love of light, and so it's
Okay.
volumini, of course, is the practice of collecting
Okay.
matchbooks. So all of the 20-somethings, when they come through and they're like, "Oh, I collect matchbooks," I'm like, "Oh, you're a voluminist."
Funny.
So it's a very esteemed title. So
Andrew Morris did an episode with me, episode 94. God, that's been almost 2 years ago. He plays mandolin. He plays a number of stringed instruments in a band called, and it's very folk bluegrass, the Match Sellers.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, tell me what. And he was in Germany, I believe, studying abroad or living there. And there were folks that's what they do. Like, like busking.
Uh-huh.
They was, I think, by the individual, by the book, I'm not sure, but it's like, wow, somebody could figure out a way to feed themselves.
Yeah.
Selling matches.
Selling matches.
Spell voluminous for me.
Voluminous. Philluminist.
Okay.
So I have stickers too that say voluminists are hot. And I'm thinking about making T-shirts, which I know the kids would buy the T-shirts.
I can't believe you haven't put that into motion already.
Yeah.
Koozies.
Yeah.
T-shirts, stickers.
Exactly.
You'll sell some of those where you set up shop.
Yeah.
I mean,
I have the stickers, and I have to explain to them what it means, and so then they think that's real cool. So
yeah. Oh, you do have stickers.
I do have stickers. Yep. I want to make T-shirts.
Okay.
So.
No website.
No website. No, I'm an old, busy, tired person.
Sure.
I can only do so much. But people have asked, they're like, "Oh, you need to have a website, or you need to, sell on Etsy."
Right.
I just, the shipping and I just do what I can do, and I don't want it to become stressful.
No,
I enjoy it right now.
I feel you.
As a little side hustle, but once it becomes stressful, then it's no fun any longer. So
I had somebody make me a Squarespace website and create the logo, and she handled the Steph Rupp is her name. She did episode 50. She would handle I would get it to YouTube and the audio places, and she would get it on the website for the longest time until she was like, you can do this now. I don't think she thought I was going to be around, which is totally fine. She would much rather spend her time on something more profitable and more creative than just every week. Dun, 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 dun,
yeah.
But there's a merch tab on the website, and it's Stripe is the payment thing, and Printful is the organization that. And I have a lot of things and nothing in inventory. It just gets made when you order it, and you can choose the shipping rate.
Yeah,
I didn't know that for the longest time. People are like, your shipping rate's high. And I was like, let me look. And I was like, oh, I can make it 0? Oh, whoops.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Who knew?
So you don't have to manage anything if you wanted to.
Yeah, interesting.
But then there's the creation of the website and paying for the domain and another thing to manage. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. So, but there's people that sell these. Actually, when I started doing this, there wasn't very much out there on Etsy, and but now there's quite a bit out there. But people sell them, and my prices are, and these days because people have seen them on Etsy, and so people sell them for like $200 plus, and I'm like, listen. That's great. If you're on Etsy and you can get $200 for one of these things, more power to you. At the end of the day, they're paper, they're matchbooks. I would never pay for something more than I would be willing to spend on it. Yeah. So my highest price is like $80, for like the bigger ones.
Sure.
Typically, but I try to keep it within like the $40 to $60 range.
Well, the frame pieces have
Yeah.
got to be your biggest spend,
Yeah,
I would
yeah,
think.
and then I paint the backgrounds,
Oh,
and I
nice.
have to buy the glue and do all the
Yeah.
stuff and store the matches and buy the matchbooks, and they're actually kind of getting harder to find. And on eBay, people sell them for, I would say the average, including shipping, is like, oh, I mean, easily $5+ up to like $30 for like a single matchbook, and
Dang.
and people collect them, and that's great too. But I just like how they look, and I want people to have a like like a little art piece and something to put on their wall.
Yeah.
Because again, if you just collect them, it's like old family photos. Unless you get them out of the shoebox and look at them.
Yeah.
I mean, who gives a shit? Nobody's gonna. So.
Jim
But,
Gaffigan had a bit years ago about how, like, I have photo albums.
Sure.
Like there's one for when I was born.
Yeah,
and one my
absolutely.
sister has, blah blah blah, and it was like a thing. I mean, in fact, they were like
Yeah.
right by the record player, and the
Yeah.
few records that we have, we thumb through
you get
them.
them out and look at them.
Jim Gaffigan says, "Too bad that went away. That was fun. Now it's
It
just
was.
like instead of photo albums, we have old computer hard drives."
Yeah.
Like, there's the computer I had when I was a baby, and here's my
Right.
college computer. I should probably throw that one away.
right, exactly.
Oh, man. Well, thank you very much for sharing your list with me. And you also, in our correspondence, had some kind words to say, so thank you very much for that. And
Yeah.
funny that you just shared with me that you were like, do I want to go on there and do this and expose, and what would I'm a mom, and
Sure.
but you also said, I feel like it should be required that if you ask somebody, they have to say
Yeah.
yes.
If somebody asks you to be on their podcast, you go on the podcast.
Folks have no problem
Full
saying
stop.
no.
Yeah.
Just letting you know.
Yeah,
And
listen.
whatever, it's fine.
Yeah, sure.
So thank you for the list and the kind words and for being here. And I normally say that I like to run through the albums on your list in chronological release order, but you gave them to me in that way. So,
Sure.
so we're not deviating at all. And we go back to 71 with Janis Joplin's Pearl.
Oh, sure.
2 of 2 for her. 10 tracks, 39 minutes. California by way of Texas. I really geek out about, especially nearing the 200 episode mark, when there are firsts, whether it's the album or the artist or both.
Uh-huh.
No Janis Joplin records have made a
really?
list to this point, so that's fun for me. I got this cassette in 1994 at the peak of my hippiedom,
Yes.
and was
Yes,
like,
sir.
"This is my Bible." Like, to the point where I listened to it, I was like, I don't really like Janis Joplin anymore. So I
Sure.
burned myself out on it. So did you say mom tuned you in?
Probably. Yeah, probably. I was exposed to Joplin through my mom at some point. But and then as I used to work at the Salvation Army in Lawrence.
Oh,
and
wow.
So this was at the point in the early '90s when everybody was getting rid of their records, and everybody was going to CDs. So the amount of records that I had access to at the thrift store in the early '90s was insane. So I had a huge record collection, and of course, I think I procured the Joplin album there. But so then and I don't have a great voice, but then Bobby McGee became my go-to karaoke
Oh, wow.
song.
Okay.
So that was
Good thing that's not on the internet.
Yeah, good thing.
This
Thank
is-
you.
this is
Especially at Westport Flea Market
Yeah,
one time.
oh, okay.
Probably a good thing it's
Yeah.
not on there.
Yeah, this would be G, that would be R.
Right.
In terms of your daughter or whoever
Yes.
sing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she was something. And
Yeah.
one of I don't know if she part of the 27. All these folks that were like,
Yes, she is.
okay.
She is. And and she did have just a tragic life. And I think my mom grew up super poor in the Ozarks and kind of a misfit, and her mom was an alcoholic, and so she kind of came from a traumatic background, like Janis Joplin did. And I think that she kind of identified with her, where she'd never felt quite in place growing up. But Joplin she was one of a kind.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure.
And I mean, like, weird to be one of a kind when she was, because there was so much one of a kind
Yeah.
happening.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
Yeah,
a
absolutely.
lot of good artists, a lot of good movements, a lot of
Mm-hmm.
good personalities that, like, I didn't know, never seen that before, or didn't know that lifestyle was an option, or
Mm-hmm.
songwriting, and Woodstock and all of these
Yeah.
kinds of wild things.
Yep.
But it was fun to revisit that. I hadn't listened to it in a long time. I did skip Mercedes Benz. Is Mercedes Benz on this one? Yeah, I
Yeah,
skipped
it
that. I
is.
was like, I can't.
Really?
Yeah.
That's funny. I used to sing my daughter to sleep to Mercedes
Oh,
Benz. Yeah.
nice. Well, I would certainly listen to you singing it,
Oh, well,
but
thank you.
I've heard it on there too many times.
Too much.
I know that song. I don't need to. So from one first to another first, Hunting High and Low, aha. From 1985, first of 11 for them, 10 tracks, 37 minutes. California Hippie Queen to Norwegian synth pop.
Yep.
Iconic track in the lead off tune. But the whole older sister had this one.
Yes.
And
So, yes. And so she loved Aha. And it's interesting because, of course, I grew up on it and we all did, hearing them on the radio. But they have an acoustic version of Take on Me
Really?
on YouTube that
Really?
you have to listen to. I should have messaged you before so you could listen to
when
it.
did they record it? Do you know?
Maybe 5-6 years ago.
Okay.
It's not super new.
Sure.
But so there's
It's
an
newer
acoustic.
than 1985.
Yes,
That's for sure.
And it's beautiful.
Oh, wow.
He slows it down, and it's just like a sob song. It's every Gen Xers. If I want a good cry, I listen to that. So I've really revisited that song,
Shout out to
that
Gen
version
Xers.
of it. Now in my life, and then also "The Sun Always Shines on TV," which I think is the most underrated song of all time. I love
Okay.
that song. And there's also an acoustic version of that
Oh, wow.
on YouTube.
Nice.
So you'll have to check it out. Yeah, really beautiful.
This was, we talk about Janis and her being who she was when she was being herself. At that time, so much happened. There's so much happening in this pocket of movies with incredible soundtracks.
Yeah.
And, I hear this and Breakfast Club,
Yeah.
which just Pandora's box to, like, The Big Chill. I mean, we could be here all day talking about that, but, I hate to sound like old get off my lawn guy, but I don't,
Do it.
I don't
Do
feel
it.
like the energy for motion picture soundtracks is matched. Like, they're not today. I don't see a ton of movies, so I'm not qualified to say that, but a lot of cool soundtracks
Yeah.
and cool movies back then. And was the video for Take on Me
With the sketches.
yeah,
Uh-huh,
I mean,
uh-huh.
it doesn't get more
Yeah.
iconic than that
No.
in terms of a first or
No.
being novel.
Mhm.
Super cool. Have you ever poked around at any of their other 10 records?
Yeah.
Okay.
There was, what was the one after this? And of course now I can't remember, but my sister owned all of them,
Okay.
So
Wow.
we listened to a lot of Aha.
Yeah.
Or I did by,
Default.
the
Yeah,
default. Yeah.
Very cool. I want to pause real quick for 5 and just hit the washroom.
Yeah.
I gotta stop myself or I'll be here all day talking
Okay.
Frank.
Yeah. I'm going to have to do a little digging then.
Aha. Hunting High and Low. Tripping me out. All the way to 89 with Flood.
Oh,
They
yes.
might be giants. Third of 18, 19 tracks, 43 minutes. Alt rock out of Brooklyn. The Chris brothers lived just a stone's throw up the street from me in Prairie Village. And Cord was my age and Bo was the older brother. And they turned me onto this, and I knew Particle Man and Minimum Wage and Istanbul and the Better Than the Rest. Like, I know the album, but it lands in your lap, pal.
Oh, well, it's probably akin to when I opened that REM album. But this
Where
was
in Colorado
one-
were you vacationing?
Oh gosh, probably Denver.
Okay.
Somewhere. But later on I discovered, and I don't know where or how, I can't remember where or how I was exposed to They Might Be Giants.
Okay.
But I ended up with the album in my, Walkman somehow. And I mean, I just listened to it incessantly, and
Yeah.
it was just quirky. And they had some political themes in there, and of course, my racist friends on there.
Yeah.
So
Crazy. Like
you know,
I was like, this is not like,
right, that I mean, they were just out there with it in the early '90s, and they
well,
were making some political statements.
for
And
sure. And like to think back to them writing that song and recording that song and what that word has become today. It's just that
sure,
it's in the quick fire holster.
yeah,
Doesn't, oh,
yeah.
you're right. But anyway,
Right. But, that was to the younger, to the generation that was listening to this at the time, it did, I think, probably give some young people pause, and they're like, huh, yeah, I don't want to be that friend. Like,
no.
you know what I mean? So but, Istanbul, of course, is my favorite, Birdhouse in Your Soul. Love that one. I did get to see them. I think I've seen them like 3 times.
Wow.
I saw them at the Granada.
Nice. The Grenasty.
Yeah, the Grenasty, exactly. I think I saw him. I might have seen him at the music hall, some venue here. But so I did see him 3 times, and they came through here maybe 3 years ago.
Okay.
But then the show was canceled,
Oh, no.
and I think it was at the Truman, and
Oh, okay.
so I didn't get to see him that time. I don't know what happened or if they're still touring, but just loved him.
Yeah.
Just fell in love with it.
Yeah.
And then I had the Lincoln, I think it was the Lincoln album. But Flood is, that's the one that
It's so good.
is the quintessential
Yeah.
young Kate album. So
And then a 10-year leap to 1999 with How Life
Sure.
Is. 4 out of 4 for firsts,
Oh,
artist-wise and album-wise.
wow.
So
Okay.
full sweep. First of 10 tracks, 44 minutes. California to Norway to Brooklyn to Ohio. I wound up with a very fortunate college living situation in that I was living with this dude that was just a little bit older than me and had finished school out east and come out in Colorado. And we would, especially me, irresponsibly spend money on CDs. And, it was,
Sure.
I did my best to dub them all to cassette when I moved back here, but we got this one around the time it came out.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And it, I mean, I saw it on, when I opened your DM to see your list. I mean, try to say goodbye. Like immediately, there's so many little sound bites of this record that are just hardwired in there because we would, when we weren't out spending money, we were at home pulling bong rips,
Sure.
playing PlayStation hockey.
Yes, you were.
With the volume down, listening to music all the time. So this one got a lot of spin. So you have
Wow.
it tied to this pitch ad
Interesting.
relationship
Yeah.
phase of life, and that's where
Yeah.
it is for me. But I don't want to steal your thunder on
no.
coming across it. How often do you pull it out and listen to it?
I mean, I haven't for a long time. It's more, when if I hear I Try on the radio, it brings all of that back.
Yeah.
But I mean, Macy Gray has a real polarizing voice.
Oh my
I don't
God.
think it's for everyone. Some people hate Macy Gray. It's that kind of raspy voice. I
Yeah.
think. I mean, I just loved it, and it's just so. It has such a plaintive tone to it, when you hear it. And if you are, it's just one of those albums, if you're going through something in your life, I guess especially as a woman, going through a breakup, of course, it really, hits home.
Oh yeah.
But I just think she's great. And I think that's a fantastic album.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is, we're sort of in our spend. We're doing equal parts new stuff, but really hitting the Zappa hard, and both kind of our first toe dip in the waters of hip hop,
Sure.
So this comes out, boom, it's huge. And then she's like featuring on other there's a Charlie Tuna. There's a couple artists whose names are on the tip of my tongue, but it's like, I remember being like, this girl is going to explode. And then she's kind of since this just kind of been,
Not so much.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was
I know.
still boggles my mind.
Yeah.
Because this was such a good record.
Yeah.
And I have not listened to any of her others.
I
so
haven't either.
I'm not qualified to say that
Yeah.
it's better than what she, but
Yeah.
yeah, I don't.
I think she was on The Masked Singer. Was she on The Masked Singer? For some
Maybe.
reason, I remember that. I know Morton Harkinson was
Okay.
from Aha. He was on The Masked
wow.
Singer.
Okay.
I think she might have been, but yeah, she kind of, I hadn't heard anything recently. If she's put anything out, I don't know. Maybe she has. But
Great record,
yeah,
regardless.
for sure.
And a great list. I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you. Yeah.
So I'm gonna hit you with 5 silly questions.
Okay,
And then
let's
we'll
do
wrap
it.
and get you out of here.
All right.
First is you're given the ability to have coffee with any one of your choosing, dead or alive. Who are you choosing and why?
Oh, gosh. Oh. My mom.
Oh, okay. Perfect. I love it. If we can pretend or imagine that we all have a personal and a professional bucket list, you're given all the necessary resources to go knock out your number one on each. What are those number ones?
Personal and professional.
Yes.
Like professional as in like job related?
Yeah, or craft related.
Oh, sure. Okay. First personal bucket list item. Oh, I'm terrible at these questions, Blair. I'm terrible. I can't think. I'm in the hot seat. Personal bucket list. Oh, is to take my daughter on a huge vacation.
Okay.
Like to Europe and take her traveling.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. And professional bucket list, although I love my coworkers, would probably be to quit my day job and just do some sort of artistic pursuit for my career, honestly.
I mean,
Yeah.
also perfect. I love both of
Yeah.
those. You're given the opportunity to visit your past self at any age, also you're choosing.
Sure.
And this is not intended to be cloaked in regret and we're changing who we are, because that's not.
Right.
But what age are you choosing and what are you saying?
Probably my late teens or early 20s, and I would say get yourself to school.
Okay. That is
Yeah.
a part of making
Yeah.
the grade, is getting your butt out of
Right.
bed or wherever.
Right.
Yeah,
and just going to college and making some other, life choices. I mean, I'm fine and I love my life and, but just pursuing things a little more.
Cool.
Yeah.
Certainly you recall that at one point there was a television show called Fear Factor. So you win a prize or whatever for laying in a coffin where they dump spiders on you. This is not that. This is real life. This is, you got to get from point A to point B. But in the middle is your greatest source of anxiety, heebie-jeebies, willies. What is it?
Oh, gosh. I listen to a lot of true crime, so probably being like in a serial killers, I mean, honestly, and again, that's because of, true crime stuff. But I mean, yeah, probably dealing with a serial killer or something along those lines.
Fair.
I mean, it sounds a little cliche,
No,
but
I hear you.
it's a real fear, these
Absolutely.
days.
Last but not least, please complete this for me.
Okay.
The world would immediately become a better place in which to live, if only.
The grid would go down and we didn't have access to the internet.
Not bad. Not bad at all. I love it. Okay, one last time for me, please, on all the places that you can be found.
Oh, sure. Instagram at Matchbox Kansas City. Facebook at Matchbox KC. And my email is matchboxkc@gmail.com.
Fantastic. Anything that you had hoped that we would cover that we did not?
Yeah, I just want to express my appreciation for other music that built the fabric of our lives. I mean, the Beatles and, Simon and Garfunkel
Yes.
and, the Jacksons and just all of the music that, these albums I chose were sort of like second tier to the ones that we all grew up on.
Yeah.
So I just want to express my appreciation for all of that other fantastic music out there too. So
awesome. I love it. This was so much fun. I appreciate the time and the energy. Kate Taylor, it was very nice to meet you and talk to you soon.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Take care.
You too.